Good morning, students. Today I am going to teach you the second chapter of your Flamingo textbook, that is Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood, written by Anis Jung. Now, students, what do you mean by lost spring? Here, the word lost spring is a metaphor used for those children who have never been able to enjoy their childhood. They are living in perpetual poverty, the poverty which never ends. Here, lost spring, here spring is considered to be childhood, and lost spring, the childhood that they have never enjoyed. So, stolen childhood, it means the childhood which is considered to be a very pathetic time for these unfortunate children. Anis Jung, in this chapter, she has talked about such children. The first story is about rag picker from Simapuri. Now, what is rag picker? Rag picker means the person who picks up garbage from the street is called rag picker. And Simapuri is an area. It is at the periphery of Delhi, where most of these rag pickers live. More than 10,000 rag pickers live there. And the next is bangle maker of Firozabad. The second story is about bangle maker. Now, Firozabad is very famous for its glass making industry. And here, such child named Mukesh, there he works from morning till evening, and working in such industry as a child is an illegal thing. But to run the family, it is compulsive. It is compulsory for such children to work in such, we can say, inhuman condition, where even we can say that even animals are living better than humans. And this chapter is an excerpt book entitled Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood. The complete name of the book is Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood. Here Anis Jung analyzes the grinding poverty. Now, what is grinding poverty? Grinding means you are not grinding something. Here grinding means perpetual continuous poverty, where a person has to live, out of which he can never come, and tradition which torment the lives of innocent children. These innocent children living in such pathetic situation, it is very torturing for them, it is very tormenting for them. A Sahib means a child from Simapuri. His name is Sahib Alam. Sahib Alam from Simapuri and Mukesh of Firozabad. Such children, they lead a life of misery and problems. We can say in their life, problems never come to an end. Every child worker shares the same poverty, dirt, and exploitation everywhere. They are exploited. They have to live in dirt and squalor. Their poverty, which never comes to an end. Students, just think about, right now lockdown is going on, and many migrant workers, so many of them, they have to, they are going back to their native places. Some people, some migrants have even walked 1000 kilometers, 900 kilometers. Just think of walking 2 kilometers for us is a problem. And for them, survival, really, if they get food, if they get some basic necessities, basic facility, they can live. But we can say really our government has completely failed to give them facilities. to at least make them comfortable. Students, we have more than 20 to 30 crore migrant workers. It means, what I mean to say, they are laborers working in organized and disorganized sectors of India. It is said 80% of labor is working at construction sites. Just imagine what would be the condition in this children would be this people would be feeling right now. Now let's come back. We would divide this video into two parts. The first story we would discuss, that is about Sahib Alam in the first video, and in second video I'll discuss about a child, Mukesh, from Firozabad. So in the first part we'll discuss the pathetic situations of rag pickers, how they have to live. Really, for such children, life is a big struggle. At the age of blossoming, budding, at the age when they are supposed to get knowledge, at the age when they are supposed to be successful, they should have more knowledge, and at that point of time they have to fight the battle of survival. Let's see the first point, searching for gold in the garbage. The first part is about a child, Sahib Alam, searching for gold. For them, if they are searching something in the gold, it is, searching something in the garbage. It is gold for them. Why it is gold? Because sometimes they get 10 rupees note, sometimes they get a gold coin, okay, or something like that. So for them, they feel it is wrapped with hope for them. And the elders who are sending such children for rag picking, for them it is a matter of survival. So Anis Jung comes across Sahib every morning. Anis Jung, he meets this child every morning, okay, when he comes for rag picking in her neighborhood. He can be seen scrounging for gold. Now what is scrounging? The meaning of scrounging is searching for something. This children is scrounging for gold in the garbage dump. In garbage dump, he is searching something. He came from Dhaka. Dhaka means Bangladesh. Their localities, their parents actually came here into India in year 1971 as refugees. He does not go to school and he does not even remember his old home. There is no school in his neighborhood. He is completely dependent on rag picking. So whatever he earns, he gives to his family, and in such a way, the whole family together, they run their livelihood. His full name is Sahib Alam. And what is the meaning of Sahib Alam? Sahib Alam means it is the Lord of the universe. Now just imagine the Lord of the universe has to do the work of rag picking. He is picking up rags on the streets. Just imagine what pathetic, what problematic situation, what problematic life they are living. In this lockdown period, okay, what comfort we have in our home. Just compare our life with them, that we really understand we are fortunate. We are very fortunate that we have got such life. And these children, they are living their life in so many problems. For them, life is nothing but a horrible survival. His full name is Sahib Alam, but he does not know what it means. He roams about in the street with his friends. He is roaming around. He is moving around with his friends. And he never knows where he is leading his life. He is leading his life without any purpose. Just early in the morning, he starts his rag picking work, and by the noon, he disappears. They live in a perpetual state of poverty. Students, I have discussed this word, perpetual. Now, what is the meaning of perpetual? Perpetual means something that is continuous. poverty, it is impoverished situation, means they even don't know where they would have the second food, the second meal. If in the morning they have had their food, in the evening it is uncertain whether they would get their food or not. But most of the rag pickers live in Simapuri. Other young boys wear shoes, but most of the rag pickers, like Sahib, remain shoeless. They never have that money to buy shoes for them. The second point is about Simapuri. Now, Simapuri, I have told you, Simapuri is at the periphery of Delhi, where it is a home of more than 10,000 rag pickers, a home for rag pickers from Bangladesh. Most of these rag pickers live in this place. It is a place where you find no development and progress. The houses are of mud. Just imagine living in a mud house. They have roof of tin and tarpaulin. They don't have even proper covering on their houses. There is no sewage, there is no drainage or running water. They don't have proper drinking water facilities. More than 10,000 rag pickers have lived there for 30 years. Just imagine, for the last 30 years they have been living in such perpetual situation. They came from Bangladesh in year 1971. They have no identities or permit. They don't know. Actually, they are living their life like refugees. They have been given shelter, but they are not called Indians. Like, look, for political purpose, they have been given ration card. They do have ration card that help them to vote, and grain that help them to have some grain and pulses. It means they get that monthly ration, and even it help them to vote. It means, look, politics is a dirty game. It helps you to vote. Why? So that political party would earn something out of them. They are giving them that facility. It means they are not giving facility to them. They are actually facilitated. They are facilitated by their own purposes. So irony is that food is more important than identity. If they get food, they don't want any identity. They feel, for us, our survival is more important. Just imagine, student, we are living in such India, and really, if we are getting all the facilities, you must value it. That we are very fortunate, we are very lucky that this kind of things we are getting. But the thing is that without value, now this is the time when most of the students feel, oh, I'm getting a lot of facilities, but these facilities would have a meaning only if you value those things. You are getting online education, you are getting facilities at home, you are having your own mobile phones. Just imagine, there are many students like this who don't know, for them facility is a big thing. For them facility is just a dream. They can't even dream of such things. So students, I would just advise you, whatever the facilities you people are getting, you must attach some value towards it. If you value the thing, you will have better future. Because those who live in past really have bad present, but those who value the present will have better future. The next point is survival means rag picking. If any person in Simapuri, it means if he is living there, his survival comes from rag picking only. Children grew up here in poverty and dirt. The biggest slum in India is Dharavi. And just recently I was watching news on Doordarshan. No, according to the news, more than 2000 cases have been registered in the biggest slums, Dharavi. It is said that they're living in squalor, dirt, and poverty. It is difficult to maintain social distancing. Just imagine what would happen when we will have when the lockdown will be when we will have okay when we will not have lockdown. At that point of time, what would be the condition when it would be lifted? When at that point of time, really, according to some data, according to some medical theories, it says at that point of time in India, the cases in India would be soaring like anything. I would just suggest you it is better for you and your family and our society that we should follow all the precautions that government has actually suggested according to the medical authorities. We should live our lives. Now children grow up in poverty and dirt. They become partners in survival. Look, they are partners. How they are partners? Their parents are actually not leading their life. They are also getting money out of rag picking. So they are actually contributing something to the survival of the whole family. So they are partner in the survival of the family. Through the year, it has acquired the status of fine art. Now, why fine art? It is turned into fine art because the more rag picking you do, the more money you get. Because fine art, why? If you are doing that job nicely, then chances are that you would find 10 rupees note or something like that. If you are very good at that, if you are good at, but it is called fine art. The reason is that if you are good at rag picking, chances are that you would get something good out of it. And that is why the author has said that these children are scrounging for gold in garbage. Then how people would get gold out of garbage? When you do it in a excellent way. So it is called a fine art. Garbage to them is a gold. Why it is called gold, I have explained to you. Sometimes a child can find a silver coin in a heap of garbage. So when you get something out of dirt or garbage, you always have a hope that you would find something out of it, and you get hopeful. For you, your life is wrapped up with hope. There is always hope of finding something more, and you feel, oh, if just 10 days ago I got a silver coin. If I am fortunate enough, I am lucky enough today also, I would get something out of it. And so garbage is wrapped up in wonder for children, and for children, they feel that if they would dig more into that garbage, they would get something out of it. And for elder, it is nothing but a means of survival. Why they are sending their children to do such inhuman, we can say really very pathetic work? The reason is that it is a means of their survival, and without doing this thing, they won't be able to live. They won't be able to survive even for 2 days. Now, last point of this story is Sahib gets a small job. One morning, the author Anis Jung sees Sahib standing by the fence gate of a tennis club. He finds him standing out of the club, and two men dressed in tennis uniform, they are playing tennis, and Sahib is also wearing tennis shoes. They are discarded shoes of some rich boy. Look, he does not have, okay, his own shoes. And it is a tradition in such places that it is not a tradition, we can say, when these children are asked that why you remain shoeless, why you are walking barefoot, the answer comes is that they say, my mother, okay, didn't get me. Okay, it means even the answer Anishan gets is that they don't have it, they don't have even enough money, and some even says that it is the tradition. It is not the tradition, it is lack of money. They are discarded shoes of some rich boy. Even with a hole in that shoe, really, it is a dream for such children to wear it. Even if there is a hole in that shoes, that child would wear it, because having a shoes is a big dream for them. Now Sahib works in a tea stall. He gets a job. He actually earlier he was working as a rag picker, but he changed his job and started working at a tea stall. He lost his carefree look. Earlier he was really very happier. The reason was that he had his own freedom of rag picking. He lost his carefree look doing a job at tea stall. He is carrying a steel canister. A steel canister is actually a stand, okay, for keeping the tea glass, and it seems heavier than the plastic bag that he used to carry on his shoulder. Earlier that plastic bag was lighter for him, and the steel canister seems very heavier for him. The reason is that earlier he was doing that work of his own will, of his own freedom, but now the work that he is doing, providing tea to his customer, carrying those tea glasses in steel canister, this work is not doing out of his own will, of his own freedom. That is why the author says it seems heavier than the plastic bag that he used to carry on his shoulder. The bag was his. Earlier he used to carry his own bag. The canister belongs to the shopkeeper, because the job he was doing, it was out of his own willingness. He loved it. It was wrapped with hope. He always hoped something, he would get something out of garbage. Sahib is no longer his own master. Really, this is really very contrasting and very paradoxical, that although his name is called Sahib-e-Alam, but he has to live a life of a slave. A slave of what? A slave of poverty, a slave of dirt, a slave of squalor. So students, we have discussed the first part of the story. Now the second part is about Mukesh, a child from Firozabad who is working in glass industry. We'll discuss it in the next lecture. Take care. Bye.